like that. Okay, so I think we're gonna start, and we will people will join on the way as well. So yeah, thank you for joining this webinar today. My name is Maud. We might have met on some events, Scale Rental. I recognize some faces. My name is Maud. I'm the partnership manager at Smily. So I take care of the partners at our company. And today we're having a Rental Ninja, who's one of our valued partner. So the idea here is that they're going to give you the keys on how to master payment tracking and increase your revenue. So Eva here will be presenting for about 30 minutes. So it's a 30 minutes presentation, and then we will have a 30 minutes Q&A, so where you can ask all your questions. If you have questions along the way, don't hesitate to put them in the chat. So we will read it through while Eva is talking. I will watch the questions, and we can also you can also ask them during the presentation. But also bear in mind that there's a 30 minutes Q&A at the end if you have like more general questions or very specific ones. So there will be time for this. So the webinar today is in English and it's recorded. So I will share the recording at the end after the session in case you have some people from your team who couldn't join and they want to watch the recording. So maybe Eva, yeah, you can introduce yourself.
Okay, so good morning, everyone. I'm Eva. I'm Dutch, just so you know, just as a small note. I've been working in the vacation rental business for about 5 years now, 4 to 5 years. And I started working in Rental Ninja for about 3 years ago. Actually, I've been working in the main agency where Rental Ninja originated from for since about 4 or 5 years. And afterwards, I also started joining the Rental Ninja team. So I've actually been in the entire process of Rental Ninja, and I've seen it grow, and I've been present in the entire development of Rental Ninja. So you could say I'm an expert. I hope I'm an expert. So you will see today. I hope I will be able to answer all your questions and give you a good presentation or conversation about what Rental Ninja can do and how it can maybe help you grow your revenue. Okay, so also, as a side note, this is my very, very first webinar, so please be gentle with me. I've done a lot of demos and onboardings, but if there's something not clear to you, if I'm speaking too fast, let me know, please, okay? Feel free to stop me.
Awesome, thank you, Eva.
So just to give you an overview of what we will be talking about today, first I will explain very quickly in a few sentences what Rental Ninja does and who we are. Then we'll be discussing our goals today. So what are the goals of the webinar and what questions will we be answering during this webinar? Then we'll go to the fact of payment tracking, as said in the title of the webinar. What features of payment tracking do we have in Rental Ninja, and how can we help you track your payments? Then the fourth point will be KPIs and business performance, which with the goals of today, we will be answering how your business is doing, how you can track how everything is going, and how you can improve. And then lastly, as Maud said, we will jump into the questions. Okay, so let's get on to it. Rental Ninja. Now, as you can see in this very nice scheme my colleagues made, Rental Ninja jumps in after the booking is confirmed. So first we have the guest confirming the booking, going through the platforms, and then going through Smily. Now, after Smily has processed all the booking information, they will pass it on to Rental Ninja. Now, then with all these with all the information, we create our features where you can manage your daily operations. Now, part of these daily operations are guest communication, managing your internal team, doing your accounting, and more basic things you can do. So getting into a little bit more into depth, in the guest module, what we can do is we can send automatic emails to your guests. So you can do the pre-check-in, which is with a doc scan. You can scan the documentation of your guests and get the passport details, and afterwards give them access to the guest portal so they can do a self-check-in. With the task module, what you can do is create automatic jobs and manual jobs, which is basically to automate cleanings and do maintenance jobs, for example. This is entirely accessible for your entire team. Now, in the accounting module, what it does is it will allow you to know what each of the parties needs to earn. So you as the agency, the property owner, and anyone else. Now, this is done with the use of statements, payments, and afterwards you can also create invoices for your owners. And then last but not least, maybe most important, are the basic features, which are the booking tags, which we synchronize from Smily, which afterwards you can filter in Rental Ninja. You can also add them through Rental Ninja. All of the events happening in Rental Ninja generate push notifications on the mobile app we have, because we have a web app and a mobile app. Now, all these push notifications are also event in the timeline, so you can see what is going on. All your team members have access to Rental Ninja, which you can filter. So this can also be rental owners. We have the payment status alert system, so you know if you're still missing a payment, and the control center statistics, which we will get into in a little bit. I hope I'm not going too fast for everyone. Then let's go on to the next slide. Our goals of today. Our goals of today is basically to help you understand how you can get the most out of your business. How can I maximize my revenue? So to get to this conclusion, we've detected that these questions might help you. So for example, how am I performing compared to last year? How is my average price doing? Am I receiving the right amount of bookings? Which OTA is more beneficial to me? And are my incomes covering my cleaning expenses? And are my rentals beneficial? This is just so you have an overview of what questions we will be covering in a little bit. Okay, going on to the first question, first part, which was payment tracking. In Rental Ninja, we have different ways of track payments, different payments actually. So we have, as it says over here, we have booking payments, which are the guest payments, but we also have the accounting and owner payments. So if we look at the booking payments part, now as you can do in Smily, you have the payment bar. You can see exactly how what has been paid. You can also link it to Stripe so you can receive payments. Now, we totally synchronize this with Smily. So you have in the booking view, you can see exactly the status of the payment. You can see how much has been paid, what still needs to be paid, add payments. And over here, you can see which payments has been made. If you want to make a refund, you can also notify this in here. So you can just keep a status of how the payments of all your bookings. Also, when you check this in your booking list, you can check over here these. I don't know if you can see this. Let me zoom in. Oh, sorry. I'm not very technical. See, over here, you can see the amount of paid of each booking. So you can keep this track of this. You can filter actually more. You can filter this list to go to, for example, the arrivals of next week, and what you want to see is the payment status of all those bookings. If instead you want to check how many payments I've received today, we can jump into the timeline. And over here, as you can see when I've received the payment, who added this payment. I have the link to the booking and so on. So I can keep track of all the payments I've received today. We also have a statistic of this. So as you can see, there's a lot. You're going to have a lot of ways to track your payments and to really understand. Not to understand, I'm saying that incorrectly, to see if I'm receiving the right amount of payments, if I'm missing payments, if I need to take an action on this, need to contact the guest or anything else. On the other hand, if we want to go to accounting payments, if that's more of your interest, we also have the owner payments. Now, in the accounting, like I previously said, what we do is we uh, give you a feature that allows you to know how much each of the parties needs to earn. Now, with parties, I mean your agency. It can be the property owner, it can be the cleaning agent, check-in staff, maintenance personnel, or any other external provider you're working with. Now, in the accounting module, you will have the statement which will give you the summary of all your incomes of the bookings. This can be automatically created for you. With all the bookings coming in, you will have an overview. As you can see, net income, the bookings, the fees, the channel commission will be separated for you automatically. You will have the breakdown per rental. You will have actually more breakdowns of all the fees and etc. separated, but it didn't fit on my slide, so I couldn't show it to you over here. Then you will have a tab with all the payments, which you can see over here, and you can see how much everyone really needs to earn. Now, this is done with one initial setup, so you know how what everyone needs to earn, and you will get the value automatically, so you know exactly what to pay to each party. You can mark this as paid, and you can say, for example, I'm paying to the cleaning company 100% everything. So it's marked in here. Now, the if this if this, for example, if you want to pay to the owner, I can mark also the payment of the owner in here. So I can keep track if I've already paid out to the owner or not. So this is the payment tracking more in the accounting part. Now, this is just a very quick example to show you how an invoice looks in Rental Ninja, just for your information. So this could be, for example, an invoice you create for your property owner.
Eva,
Are
we
there?
have a question from Mireille. Yeah, she was actually asking. So she's asking, can I manually add a booking with a payment schedule to a property with a specific payment calendar?
So you want to add a booking to a statement?
No, what I mean is if I have a booking, like for example, I have seasonal bookings. Is someone that called me, Mimi, do you have a property for the season? Yes, I do. So these people rented the property for the season. But is this something I can then manually enter if the booking comes from another channel than Smily into Rental Ninja and have payment reminders saying, because they pay in 3 installments. So is this something that we can do as well?
If the property is linked through Smily to Rental Ninja, the booking needs to be created in Smily to be able to have it synced automatically in Rental Ninja. Now, if you only want to account the booking itself separately, you can always manually add the costs to the payment itself. But it will be the booking will not be reflected in the statement then. So you have two options.
Okay, so this is a purely linked to Smily up thing. It's not just Rental Ninja, basically.
The statement itself is
Yeah.
linked to the incomes that we get from the bookings, which is
Okay.
that's linked to Smily. Yes.
Only Smily. Okay, that answered my question. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. Any other questions? No?
Well, I do. So the payout to the owner, I'm sorry, I already use Rental Ninja, so that maybe that's why. So, and the payout to the owners, is this something that we have to manually enter?
No. This can be automatically generated also. Together with the statements, the payouts can be generated automatically. There's one setup done in the scheduled statements feature. So you can create this in here and they will be automatically created according to the strategy you have designed for each of the parties. Does that answer your question?
I assume that it's percentage, yeah?
No, this is just, let me show you very quickly in Rental Ninja. So let me open a statement. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so if I'm in a statement, this is not a good one. Let me show you this one. This one, for example, if I'm in a statement, the payments, this is the overview of all the payments. But if I open a payment over here, I can see the details of the payment. So this is the result of the payment. Now, the result of the payment is done with the strategy. I'm really going into depth here, so I'm hoping I'm not making it very difficult for some of you who aren't using Rental Ninja. But here is the strategy, and the strategy you can use percentages, but you can also use fixed amounts. So it's a combination of both. Does that clarify it a little bit more, Mimi, or?
It does, but you know me, I'll get back to you on this one anyway, so
Send
thank
me
you.
an email afterwards.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions about the payment features? No? Okay, then I'm gonna jump into the reports and getting to the answers of the goals of today. Now, to get to the goals of today, I want to quickly show you the report section we have. So the report section, it shows the key KPIs we have considered important, and they are filterable. You can filter them per year, but also per property, per rental owner, and compare them between periods. Now, this is just an overview of some of those we have. So as I said, we have one which is for payments received. If you want to have a statistic, sorry, of all the payments you have received over the previous time. Now, we have multiple ones. I don't want to get into depth of all of them, but if you want to have a quick look or take a print screen, you can do so. But we will get into depth of some of those right now. Now, to answer the first question, how am I performing compared to last year? We're going to compare the gross revenue generated of one property owner. So as I said, you can filter out. So I can filter, in this example, I'm filtering per property owner. And this property owner has 5 rentals in this case. Now I'm comparing last year because at the beginning of 2024, and we want to see how 2023 did, how we performed last year. So when filtering on 2023, I can compare with the previous years. Now, if I see the revenue and I can compare the one of, for example, July and June, I see that in 2023, I did not perform as good as in 2022 directly. Now I can also compare this per property. Now I can see here the breakout per properties, and I can see in 2023, these 3 properties performed pretty well. Let me zoom in because I don't know if you can see it properly. These properties perform pretty well. These are in green, but these performed a lot lower, especially this one. Now, if I then look at May, for example, May in 2023 performed very well for this property owner. It increased, also April. Then if I look at the separation in general, okay, so zoom out. If I want to have an overview in a scheme, I can see it over here. I can see the years. So the filled one is 2023, and I can compare, and I can see that this year in general I did not perform as well, but I can compare the periods, and I see that some of the periods perform better than the others. So in a conclusion, what I can get from this is that high season, which in this case was June till August, the performance should be improved, but that the pre-season was pretty good. Now from that, what actions can I take? Now I will have to revise the average price per night and the occupancy. So I can, which we will do right now. Sorry, we will revise the average price per night and the occupancy. Average price per night and occupancy. Now, we have specific statistics for these, and I will get to, for example, July, like we said, July, average price per night in July. Average price per night in July. For those 5 properties, 2023, it went down a little bit in July and August. if I check May, it went a little bit up. So yeah, that makes sense if the revenue went up in May, but it went down in July and August. Now, if I go to the occupancy part, occupancy over here, in August it went up, but in July it went actually down. So if I compare July, occupancy went down, but the price only went a little bit down. So that means that in general, if I compare those, because the revenue, remember, it went up, the price only went slightly down, but the revenue went a lot down. So that means that in general, I was doing good because I increased prices. I didn't increase prices, but it went down, so revenue increased. Now, if I go to May, in May, prices went up, occupancy went up, so everything went up, so that's good. So that's, if I go to the conclusion, what should I do? I need to maintain strategy in May because everything went up. Average price per night went up, occupancy went up. If I go to July, what would I need to do? Since the occupancy went down in July, but the average price went up, I need to lower prices in July because I need to get my revenue higher. Yes. Okay, so that would be the conclusion of this part, so I can get more revenue. Now, if I go to future bookings, now we want to check the answer that the question we want to answer is, am I receiving the right amount of bookings? For this, we want to check the two statistics we have, which is bookings created and nights created. Now, the bookings created, it will basically show you how many bookings have been created on this period. And the nights created, how many nights have been created. So not bookings, but nights. So if I'm making a booking of 4 nights, 4 nights have been created. Now, if I compare, for example, January, now if I make a calculation, if I use 67 nights were created between 10 bookings, which is 6.7 as an average per night. Now, if I do the same for 2022, I can divide 42 by 3, which means that the average booking stay was 40 nights, which means the average amount of stay, the length of stay was a lot shorter than in 2023. Now, if I do this with February too, I can see that the stays were a little bit longer than in 2022. Now, what conclusion can I get from this? That the stays in 2023 were shorter, but if I check, there were a lot more bookings made in 2023 than in 2022. So maybe if I want to get if I want to act on that, what I can do, the action would be to make long stay offers because I want to attract longer bookings. And I'm already receiving the right amount of bookings, but I want to receive them longer. So I don't have so much turnovers, which is a lot easier for me in high season. I don't have so much cleanings. I don't have a lot of hassle in between. Then jumping.
Yeah, Eva, just jumping because there was a question from Mireille as well to know how did you get those stats and if it was coming from Rental Ninja or Smily. So yeah, all the presentation is about Rental Ninja. So it's really whatever you see in the presentation is what you can get from the Rental Ninja platform. But she wanted to know as well where can she have those information in the menu of Rental Ninja on the platform.
Right. This is located all in the report section of Rental Ninja. So in the reports, you can find all of these statistics, as I showed over here. The reports, all of these statistics can be found. Now, as I said, you can filter those. And you can filter those per year, per property, and so on.
Okay, great. And we also had a question from Fanny. She was asking if you can also have the stayed room nights and not only the booked room nights.
I'm not sure if I understand that correctly. The stayed room nights?
I guess it's by like to be able to filter by the check-in dates or like by the
Yeah.
stay dates and not by when the booking was created.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so in this case, this one is according to the creation date of the booking. Now we do have some other statistics, for example, which is the revenue one, which we previously said, which is according to the check-in date. So if you compare the revenue of one period with another period, it's according to the check-in date. So you can see if the revenue of August is higher than July, it's no August last year, sorry, you can see that there were more booking incomes this year than last year.
Okay.
So you can do both.
Yes, you can do both, but with different statistics.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Yes. Any other questions? No? Okay, then I'm gonna jump into the next one. We already saw this. Okay. So with how many days in advance are my guests making bookings? Which is very useful to know in we want to make our strategies and see if I'm receiving the right amount of bookings, if I want to know if I need to take any actions on, hey, are they booking with enough time in advance? Am I receiving more last minute bookings or early bird bookings? So in this statistics, as you can see, for those same properties, I've been comparing 2023 to the previous years. Okay, so as you can see, 2023 is the blue one. I was receiving bookings, okay, but then it went down. Now, in general, the tendency of these properties is that people book with a lot of nights in advance, but then they are booking less and less. Now, if I look at the breakout, I can see that in 2022 they booked with a lot of nights in advance. Let me zoom in again. But in 2023 they didn't book with so many nights in advance. Now in February they booked with a bit more nights in advance, and then it went down quite a bit, but still it was quite high. Now in 2022 it went really down gradually. They were booking with less and less nights in advance. Now, if I keep this in mind, what conclusion can I get? Now, that in 2023, people were booking with less days in advance than in 2022. So they were making more last minute bookings. Now, if I want to have the guest book earlier, what should I do? Maybe I should consider making early bird offers. So I can already guarantee that I have incomes earlier if I get a down payment from them, to get cash flow already rolling in the beginning of the year, so I can have a good start of the year. If there are no questions, I'm just gonna go on. So getting to the question, which OTA is more beneficial to me? Now, we have some statistics showing you the channel revenue and the channel commission. Now, it will compare the incomes you have per booking channel, which I think all of us property managers really want to know, because we want to know which booking channel is providing us with more income and more bookings, because it's not always the same, because I can get more bookings from one channel, but maybe more income from another channel. It really depends on the amount of money the guests are paying. Not every booking channel has the same quality of guests. So looking at these statistics for these properties, I've compared Airbnb and Booking.com, which are the most known ones. And over here I can see the breakout of Airbnb booking, and I can see that for Airbnb I have quite a steady income and it has been growing. But for Booking.com, it went down this year. It went quite down, which we will see in a little bit too. It was a lot less, and it's actually a lot less than Airbnb. Now, if I go to the channel commission, I can also see how much commission I'm paying to each of the portals. Now, in Airbnb, it's quite a lot, but I'm also receiving a lot of reservations through Airbnb. And in Booking.com, it's a lot less, but I have a lot less bookings. Now I made a calculation over here so you can see exactly how much I have been earning really from those bookings. Now, the conclusion, very simple for this one. Airbnb is most beneficial. It's as easy as that in this case. Now going to the next one to get more into depth about the channels. If we use the statistic of channel revenue, the same one we just had, but we compare it with the channel nights because we have another statistic that shows you how many nights have been booked through each platform. Now, if I compare those, I can get the average price per night per booking channel. So I can see how much the guests of each channel have been paying, more or less. So I can see what are the quality of each guest. Now, I have made these calculations over here, as you can see, and comparing the 2023 average rate of Airbnb guests and 2022, I can see that they have started paying a little bit more. Booking.com guests, instead, they have been starting to paying a little bit less. Okay, so okay, they are paying less. They are also in general the revenue through Booking.com is a little bit less. If I look at the nights, Booking.com, they are also a little bit less. Airbnb is a little bit less to the nights, but they have been paying more, so the general revenue went up. But in Booking.com, everything went down. Everything went down. So to get to the conclusion, Airbnb, because the average daily rate, the average price per night increased, the revenue increased. But in Booking.com, everything went down. Occupancy, average price per night, but also the revenue. So keeping that in mind, what actions can I take? So in Airbnb, good. Everything goes perfect. Maintain strategy. Don't change anything. I mean, sometimes everything is just going well and I don't need to change anything. But in Booking.com, to get to my revenue increase, what can I do? Since everything went down, the first thing I should do is revise the entire listing. Revise in Booking.com, how am I performing? Check reviews in Booking.com. Check the listing details, the pictures, the policies. Maybe it's my cancellation policy that needs to be changed. Maybe compare this with Airbnb, for example. Maybe I have a very flexible cancellation policy in Airbnb, but a very strict one in Booking.com. Or maybe the pictures are not up to standard anymore. Or maybe the reviews, it's also in some listings, it can really happen that you have very good reviews in one portal, but very bad reviews, or not very bad, let's hope, not very bad, but slightly less good reviews in the other portal. So you might want to have a look at this and act on those features. No questions? Then I'm going to jump on to the next one. Now, we've seen more into depth the statistics of the control center. But now to answer this question, I'm going to jump into the accounting module. Now, are my incomes covering my cleaning expenses? So this can be seen in the accounting module. Now, in the accounting module, as we previously saw, we have an overview of all the incomes from all the bookings. Now, over here, I did put a print screen of the breakdown. I can see the breakdown per rental, but also the fees breakdown. And in the fees breakdown, we also have the cleaning fees, as you can see. I can see how many times they have booked and what the income was of all the cleanings, for example. Now, this would be in the statement. Now, as we previously said, after the statements come the payments. Now, the payments basically, they will show you what each party really needs to earn. Now, if I assign the cleanings to the cleaning person or to the rental agency, I can see exactly how many incomes or how much I'm earning from the fees and how much I need to pay out. So in this example, for example, in the rental agency, I have assigned all the incomes of the fees to the rental agency because they are earning the fees that are paid by the guests for the cleanings. And then I'm adding the expenses of the cleanings, so also to the payment of the agency, so I can see how much I'm paying for the cleanings. Now, in this case, I'm paying €55 as a fixed fee for all the cleanings of these properties, but I'm earning a little bit more. So doing the calculation, the profit I get from the cleanings in these cases it's small, but I'm earning something. So the answer to the question is, are my incomes covering my cleaning expenses? Yes. So you can track if your cleaning expenses are covering the costs, the incomes of the cleanings through the accounting module perfectly. No questions? Then I'm gonna jump to the next one. Okay, so I think we're getting to maybe the most interesting part of the entire webinar, which most of you might be most interested in. Are my rentals really beneficial? Because at the end of the year, what do we want to know? Are the rentals beneficial? Should I keep managing this rental? Because sometimes I may need to take a step back and say, hey, but this rental is not performing correctly. I need to review this and see if I want to keep on managing this property, because otherwise, if I'm not earning money, it's not beneficial for me. So what we can do is we can go to the accounting statistics in this case, because we have been using the accounting module over time, so we know exactly how much each party is earning, right? So I will see how much money I have paid over time, is what we say to each of the parties. Now, one of the parties is the agency, so I can see exactly what the agency has earned over time for this property. So in the entire year, over here, you can see again, I have filtered out the information. I filtered out last year the rentals of the 5 rentals we have been looking at of one property owner, and I've selected one PE, which is the rental agency. So we wanted to know if for these 5 properties, the agency has been earning enough, if everything is covering the expenses. Now I can see that in 2023, it actually went a lot down compared to 2022. Okay, so everything went up, even with COVID, COVID went a little bit down, but then it went up, and it went up a lot in 2022, and now it went down a lot again. So we might want to have a look at that. Now, getting more into detail, I can see which months have been performing better and which not. And then I can see also the properties which have been performing better and which not. Now, in general, all the properties have been failing this year. I can see the amount. Some have not had such a significant change, but some of them, for example, this one, has had a very big change. I can also see the months. Now, checking those months. Now, if I then go to the next, what I can see, what I said, the conclusion is 2023 was not as a good year as 2022, which you can see in all factors over here. Now, the action I should take, considering all previous slides, because we have been looking at all the same rentals, is I might want to do long stay offers, early bird offers, and revise the booking.com listings. Because by taking all of these actions, what I will do is I will most likely increase the revenue, get more incomes, and thus get better results. But now what I want to do is get to the very last slide. Because in
Eva, just before jumping in,
Sorry.
Mireille is asking if those figures in the previous, I guess she's referring to the previous slide, are those figures after platform commissions, or just like the sales price?
Yes. Sorry if I did not mention this. Yes, this is after platform commission. This is the net income, because we get these figures from the accounting module. And in the accounting module, all the booking channel commissions, the platform commissions, are already taken out. So this is really your net income, the net income of the agency.
Okay.
But when you say net income, it's our but it's the net income of the property from which we need to exclude the 80% that goes to the owners. We agree. These statistics do include the money that is paid back to the owner, or this is just the percentage that remains to the agency?
This depends on what filters you apply. Because in this filter, I have only applied the payee of the agency. So it means only the incomes of the agency without the rental owner.
Oh, well, that's really good then. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So
Yep.
if I would select over here all payees, I would see the actual net incomes of all the payees together. So
Okay.
property owner and agency.
That's profits. That's good. Okay. Thank
Yeah,
you for clarifying.
no worries. So then getting to the last slide, what I wanted to show you, what I'm doing here is I'm getting the agency's net revenue, which we just saw, and compare it to the gross revenue, which we have in the statistics section, which we saw in the very beginning. Now, if I compare those, what I can see is that actually the gross revenue only went down with 1% for these properties. It didn't went down so much. But if I compare it to the net revenue went down a lot for the agency, like a lot, with 35%. So maybe in this case, what I should do is I should revise the agency's expenses, because in the net revenue, I've already detracted my expenses, and now I'm seeing that the difference is a lot higher, or it went down a lot more than with the gross revenue difference. So I really need to check my expenses. I really need to get into the details. I can also check this in the accounting module. Actually, I can check all my expenses and really get into the depth of what expenses I've had this year. And maybe I need to cut expenses. So if I now go to the origin of the webinar and say, okay, you want to increase revenue, you want to track your payments, it's really about getting into the details of everything. You need to revise the revenue you're generating, how you're promoting everything on the list, on the channels, on the booking channels. But I also need to know the expenses I have and compare these and get really into the detail of everything, so I know what actions I need to take and how I can get that revenue growth I want to have to keep on performing and keep on improving myself. That would be my final conclusion. Get into detail, check everything very, very good. Now, that would be the end. I don't know, Maud, how you want to go on with the questions. Are there any questions, any doubts? Maybe I did not explain myself correctly. I can redo anything you would like me to re-explain.
I think it was very clear. At least for me, I understood everything, and I'm not the expert. So I understood everything, and I think it was very nice to have like some examples every time, like concrete examples to understand, like in the real life, what can I do with those figures? Because there are so many possibilities in those modules, and it's good to have like just a little bit of layout. But yeah, if there are more questions, just you can jump in, like unlock your mic and just ask any question.
I did talk a lot more than half an hour, right?
Yeah, you talked more, but it was good. We still have a good 12 minutes for questions.
I'm all good. I will get back to you, Eva, on things that are very specific related to our ways, because we have a specific ways of using Rental Ninjas. But no, it's good. And these reports are really useful. I mean, I've used them last week to send to an owner, and it does facilitate life. So I found a few of the ones you showed, not all of them, because yeah, but it's great. You guys are ninjas. Love it.
I'm happy to hear. So yeah, just send me an email afterwards, Mimi. I will get back to you on that.
Okay, I'm letting you guys go. Have a good day. Cheers.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Have a good day. Thank you. Yeah, it's really great to have some feedbacks as well, actually. If some of you want to give some feedback on the presentation or on Rental Ninja, how do you use it? It's also can be also interesting.
It is. Just if there are no questions, I want to add that Rental Ninja supports all of these languages, so French, Spanish, English, German, Portuguese, Catalan, and we also have the guest communication in Dutch too. just for your information, now, if you want to contact us, you have our contact details over here, also the ones of Smily. And this is our email. So actually, I think, is this still the correct email, Maud? I'm not sure if this is still correct.
I'm not sure either, to be honest. I'm not sure if this works. But what I would do anyway is that I'm gonna send everyone a follow-up email with the recording of the call and also the contact detail of Rental Ninja and ours. So if you have any question, you can reach out to one of us. And I will also include the manuals which explain like how you can connect your properties to Rental Ninja from Smily account. Yeah, so there will be all the information. But it's good to remind that you have all those languages available. So even though it was in English, you have it in French. So it's good.
We have it in French too, yes.
Cool. So guys, if you don't have any question, yeah, we will just send you all those follow-ups and you can ask your private questions, because also sometimes what Mireille was saying just before is that it's true that you have like very specific questions and maybe you need to go into details into your specificity. So you can also reach out for that.
Yeah, you can send us an email and we will get back to you as soon as we can. If you have specific questions about how your agency is operates, let us know. With most of the complications or questions we can work. The tool is very, very flexible, and as we are also working in an agency, we know exactly what needs you might have and how to adapt also the tool to your needs. So yeah, really, if you have any specific needs, just send us an email. I'm pretty sure we will find a solution for you.
Yeah, and also what you were saying, we were talking about that with Eva just before, but you have this 60-day guarantee period. So for any of you who never use Rental Ninja and you want to try it, they have the 60-day guarantee period, so you can try it, and if you're not satisfied, you can stop it within 60 days. So yeah, that's a great way to test it.
Exactly.
Great. Well, thank you guys. If you don't have any question, we're gonna end the session and yeah, and follow up with you guys today or tomorrow with the email.
Okay. Thank you all so much. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you understood me. If you want to give me a grade, that would be very nice. And otherwise, send me an email if you need anything, and hope to see you soon.
Thank you, Eva. It was super nice. Thank you very much for taking the time to explain to us everything.
Thank you. Thank you.
Have a good day.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.